All right, Shalom. All praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of the great millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. I have a article I want to go into, news and prophecy, from the Guardian.com. It's entitled China's Black Monday sends markets reeling across the globe as it happened. All right, if everybody been paying attention to the news yesterday, Monday, there was a big uproar or tumult in the markets yesterday, dealing with the stocks and the trading and everything worldwide when China stocks had went down. So they were scrambling and trying to figure out what was going on. I was watching the news yesterday. They here in the U.S. they made a couple speeches and things, and doing a lot of uh, talk on endemic control and speaking on the situation and what happened. And basically what happened yesterday was a sign that the elites were getting ready to crash America, because America's Dow Jones index at the time that it happened, it went down over 1,000 points. And what they were saying was, there hasn't been a drop like that since, I believe, 2011. All right, between yeah, I believe it was 2011. Um, and I remember that happening back then. Um, Matter of fact, the most for the day when it had dropped was around 500 something points, and that's where the Dow Jones had ended yesterday for the U.S. Um, but everything got dropped over like 1,000 points yesterday, and that was a major blow to a lot of these traders out there. So I'm gonna get into the article. Um, Basically, the Most High Yahweh Shai, he's getting ready to take this place out. He's using the elites to play their play their tricks and mess with these different people, especially their money. You know, so you know, for the late brothers out there, um, we're almost out of here. So it says China's Black Monday sends markets reeling across the globe as it happened. It says hundreds of billions wiped off world's financial markets today. This says yesterday, as Chinese rout send shares tumbling in Europe, Asia, and the U.S. It says the Dow Jones Index shares 588 points. Let's go into some other articles. Markets fall around the world. Chinese stock market tumbled 8.5%. It's the biggest fall since 2007. Speaking on that, around that time, 07, 08, 09, that was when you had that big major financial collapse that affected everybody, you know. So the lease is letting you know that they're getting ready to do this thing again. You know, they're getting ready to pull the plug on this place. All right. So you got key events. You got live feed. Closing summary. China sends world market into a spin. It says China has been a major contributor to economic growth and low global inflation for more than 2 decades. But tonight, investors around the globe are catching their breath after one of the worst days trading in many years. They're now pondering whether today marks the start of a new and alarming phase of the crisis, which began some 8 years ago. Um, Says Mohammed El Arian, former CEO of PIMCO, believes today's route has sunk any prospect of U.S. interest rates being raised next month, but he doesn't believe we're heading into a major crisis. And that's them just talking their shit. Because even though something may not happen today or tomorrow, so to speak, eventually it's going to happen. Okay, and that's in scripture. That's in the prophecy. It says, let's see. It says, in the meantime, here's a short summary. The U.S. market has suffered its biggest sell-off in 4 years. The Dow Jones ended the day down 588 points, having shed more than 1,000 points in early trading. You know, and here in the U.S., that was a big deal. But I believe after like an hour or two later, around like lunch, 12 o'clock during the day, it had went back up to, I think it was down. It was like negative 100. But then at the end of the day, like it says here, it ended at a low of 588. All right. It says the S&P 500 and Nasdaq are both in correction territory tonight, down 10% on their recent peaks. It says in London, almost 74 billion euros was wiped off the value of the FTSE 100 index in a rout led by mining giants. European stock market suffered the worst days trading since 2011. All right. Uh, it says the sell-off began in Asia 19 hours ago, where Australia's market suffered its biggest fall since 2009, and Japan's Nikkei slumped over 4%. So the whole world was feeling um, this so-called uh, slipping in stocks. Okay. Um, It says, but China was the worst hit, with the Shanghai Composite Index dropping 8.5% and the biggest sell-off since 2007. Okay. China market crash dominates the front pages. You can see it here from The Guardian. China urged to end market turmoil. Uh, the Daily Telegraph, Black Monday risks a new financial crisis. So, you know, this is a sign of the times. All right. So I'm going to go into some scriptures and pull out some presets real quick. This is the book of the blue letter, book of Zephaniah, chapter 1, verse 10. All right. Zephaniah 1 and 10. It says, and it shall come to pass in that day, saith the Lord, that there shall be the noise of a cry from the fish gate, and an howling from the second, and a great crashing from the hills. And this is going into um, business, trading, and importing, and you know, dealing with bringing in money to really America. Okay, because the fish gate was something that Israel had back then when they would import things from places like Tyrus and um, other places. But you know, now here in America we have these different stocks and trading. All right, so it says there's gonna come a great crashing from the hills, because eventually the whole economy will crash. You've seen it back in 1929, I believe. All right, and then you had the so-called financial crisis in '08. All right, so there's gonna be something big happening um, in the financial news, to when this whole thing is gonna be taken out. All right. This is verse 11. How ye inhabitants of Maktesh, for all the merchant people are cut down, all they that bear silver are cut off. All right. So a lot of these different economies worldwide, they're going to be cut off, and and you know, like right now, they're talking about China going down, because China is supposedly the second biggest economy in the world, but China holds most of that debt, in America's debt. Okay, China owns most of America's debt. So really, when the dollar, um, when the Federal Reserve note, the dollar, when that's devalued to a certain point, that's when this major crash is going to take place. Okay, that's why you see a lot of things like oil prices going down, different commodities and stocks fluctuating. Okay, um, that's a major deal. Okay, so I got another scripture. This is the book of Habakkuk, Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 4. 1 second. All right. It says, behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him. And that's the so-called white man. He's not an upright person. Everything that he does, although he speaks so-called peace and good and happiness and righteousness out of his mouth, really his mindset is on doing some kind of wickedness. So he's not upright. Okay. It says, but the just, which is the elect of Israel, shall live by his faith. Verse 5, yea, also, speaking about the so-called white man still, because he transgresseth by wine, his philosophies dealing with his trading, his dollar. That's why when something happens to the dollar bill, it affects these different economies worldwide, like China, like Japan, like Asia. Okay, it mentioned Australia. Okay, because these other nations, they deal they deal with the world reserve currency, which is the dollar. So that's like that's their um that's their transgression. Okay, it says he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desires hell and is his death, and could not be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. Verse 6, shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increases that which is not his, how long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay. And when you look up this word, thick clay, in verse 6, because it says, woe unto him. The so-called white man uh, uh, um, is going to get destruction because he heapeth upon himself thick clay, which is really talking about debts. Okay, and the Hebrew word there is abat yat. Okay, I'm gonna click on it, and as you can see here, abat yat, and it means weight of pledges, heavy debts. Okay, and the major debt that they have is this it's over $18 trillion that they owe to the Federal Reserve. And most of that is owned by China. So when something happens in China, it's going to affect America and it's going to affect other places worldwide. Okay? So when you see things like this happen in the news, that's a direct effect of these heavy debts that these other not just America, but these other nations owe to the Federal Reserve. And who owns the Federal Reserve? These different banking families, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers. Okay, and they're trying to exact that back. All right. Um, but that was basically it. I just want to go into what happened yesterday. There's another article I had um, from the New York Times. It says a plunge in China rattles markets across the globe. Uh, I could just read these first couple of paragraphs. It says stocks around the world tumble in volatile trading on Monday, leaving investors to wonder how much government officials can and will do to insulate the global economy from the turmoil. The upheaval in the markets began with another rout in China that drew comparisons to the 1987 crash in the United States known as Black Monday. Concerns about China's ability to be a powerful engine of global economic growth have added to worries about the potential impact of higher interest rates in the United States, driving stocks sharply lower in Asia and Europe. Uh, so it says here the global ripples, and you can see how what happened between was August 23rd and August 24th, Sunday and Monday, everything started plummeting. Okay, so this is the state of the global economy, man, and dealing with these different debts and things, and it all links back to really America and who holds what amount of debt. But this place is going to crash, as the scriptures say. So with that, I'm gonna end it there. All praises, glory, and honor go to Yahweh Basham Shai. Double honor to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that rule well, and peace and blessings to the elect out there. All right, we're almost out of here. This place is almost done. And Lord willing, see you on the next lesson. Shalom.